this all in one take.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to an exciting episode, I guess, of Loftus Party of 6, because we are shooting this morning and I'm going to be posting it today. So this is kind of like a first real live time video that we've done.
It's beautiful here, guys.
If you can't tell where we are, this is Lake Powell. We are in Lone Rock Campground. It's on the National Forest. It's incredible. If you haven't been here, make sure and put it on your bucket list to come.
And watch the sunrise. It's beautiful.
It's very, very nice. So, but today what we're going to be talking about is our expenses and a little bit about budgeting and some tips for that if you're a newbie or if you're just starting out in RV life and you want to know how much am I going to spend each month? You know, what does it look like in a month-to-month budget, expenses? And to be honest with you, it really varies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it varies for us, and it's going to vary for every family because, you know, the amount of people is different, what you do is different.
Yeah, so I've got some notes here. What we're going to talk about first is some tips, and then we're going to go over our expenses that we spent for the month of March. Like we said, this isn't a one-size-fits-all. When it comes to RV living, there's lots of different factors. Like number one is, are you going to be stationary? That is a huge one because if...
You hear somebody? I
hear footsteps. We tried to get this video in before the kids woke up. Didn't happen.
We're winging it.
Chasen woke up. You can always tell when Chasen wakes up because he walks like he's got hammer on his feet.
He's on a mission.
He's like boom, 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 boom,
yes.
boom. Walking
he's our
across the fifth
lightest
wheel.
child, and he's the loudest walker in the morning. So when I went up there, he had gone up to our bed because that's what he usually does, and it's usually way earlier than this. And he was coming back down the stairs, and the look on his face was complete horror. He was, I could tell he was getting ready to go tell Grady and Layla, Mom and Dad's gone. They're gone. Which is quite funny, but anyways.
We got him set up with some cartoons, and hopefully the other kids will give us some time to get this video done. Alright, so starting over, there are a lot of key factors when it comes to RV living that's going to affect your expenses and your budget. And one of those is if you're going to be stationary. Because there are a lot of full-time RVers who are stationary, who stay in one campground for months because that's where their job location is. Maybe they're trying to save money to buy a house or do something different like that, or get out of debt. So it's going to be very easy to budget that. It's going to depend on what location you're in. You know, some people are paying $400 and something a month, and some people are paying in the thousands a month.
Crazy.
It's just based on location. So that's one factor.
Okay, so another one is how much you're traveling, which is a huge one because of fuel and what all you're doing when you're traveling. So like if you have an RV and you can just grab lunch while you're going down the road, one thing, but a lot of times you end up eating out on travel days. We get a Starbucks every travel day.
Yeah.
It's because we feel like we deserve that for having 4 kids in that truck.
It's not like we don't have Starbucks in the morning too. I mean, we make our own Starbucks coffee, and they're like,
it's true.
Have a Starbucks in the morning today.
But, I mean, it really does depend on how much you travel as far as fuel goes and eating out and then campsites and stuff. I mean, it changes every state that you're in. All of that changes. Yeah.
The next one is going to be payments on an RV or your truck, or if you have a towed, which is the vehicle you tow behind like a Class A or something, or a Class C. If you have payments on those, that's obviously going to affect your month-to-month expenses and your budget. For us, our truck and our fifth wheel are both paid for. We bought those out of the equity of our home. So those aren't factored in on a month-to-month basis for us. But we also bought used. We did not buy new. If you're looking into getting an RV, you're going to have to take that into consideration in finding a good used RV and a good used truck. And that would really help if you can pay cash and be out of debt.
It felt good to us to be able to take off without those payments. And we felt very good about our truck and fifth wheel. We felt like we literally waited till we were about to be homeless. But it was worth it because the lady we brought the fifth wheel from, we felt super good about. And the same with the truck. It had the engine and all the man stuff that Michael knew was important. And it felt good to take off with something that we believed was a great deal and high quality and no debt.
Yep. Number 4 is how many, like Dane said earlier, how many mouths you have to feed.
Oh, we have a lot of them.
Yeah, there's 6 of us, Loftus party of 6.
Grady eats like a man, and I promise, doesn't he?
Grady does. Grady's our biggest eater. And
they're all snackers.
And that's all going to change. Well, Grady's not going to change, but as Gabriel and Chasen grow up, it's going to become more food that we're going to spend each month. If you guys hear a noise in the background, our furnace just kicked on, so hopefully you guys can't hear that. Number 5, I think this is a big one. Treating this like a vacation. If you come out in this life and you say, you know what, we have a 1-year goal to see as much as we can, to do as much as we can, we're just going to do this for a year, see everything, go to all the stuff, then you're treating this like a vacation. If you're in this, something like similar like what we are, and you say, we don't know how long we're going to be doing this, this could be a long-term thing for us, we do want to see stuff, but we obviously can't treat this like a vacation because we would go broke. I mean,
yes.
Because when you do treat this like a vacation, you're going to be traveling a whole lot more. You're going to be staying at much nicer campgrounds, possibly.
And just going to more touristy things. And that's expensive with 6 people. Yeah. But I've had so many people, awesome people, reach out and say, you need to do this and this and this when we're in different states. And some of those things, it's like, oh, that's for vacationers. Like, we're not here for vacation. If we did that at every state, we would spend thousands upon thousands upon thousands.
For example, not too far from here, there is a place called Antelope Canyon. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. But for our family of 6 to go, it was probably going to be over $200 for us to go and do that. So we're going to skip
for a guided hike.
For a guided tour, and we're going to skip it for now, and we'll try to do it maybe one day when it's just Lane and I. And it'd be around $100.
Yeah.
So if you treat this like a vacation, that's also going to be a big part of your expenses.
Right.
And you need to figure that out beforehand.
Yeah.
Are we treating this like a vacation, or is this going to be life? There are some days whenever we do treat things like vacation, but most times, 95% of the time, it's not.
True.
Okay.
True story right there.
All right, the other one I think is a big one for us is boondocking or RV parks. In the past 3 months, we have spent so much time boondocking that our expenses on campground fees has been so low, it excites us. We love it.
We love it. We're addicted to boondocking. And it's just more our style anyways. I love it so much. I don't ever want to pay to, and I never want to be in an RV park. But it's personal preference, you know, totally.
And we are here, like I said, this is National Forest. This is the first time I think we've paid for a place to stay in a month.
Yeah.
And it's $14 a night.
And I would pay more than that for this place. Yesterday, It was like vacation. I don't know, can they see the lake? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the kids were down playing on the beach, and I was just like, hey, you know what? Let's just have a vacation today. It
felt
beautiful
like it. Had your feet
here.
in the sand. And
yes, it's beautiful.
It was just great.
So it's okay for us to pay every once in a while because we're still boondocking.
So those are just some of the factors that I had wrote down. There's 6 of them. We're Loftus party of 6, so I wrote down 6.
Oh, look at that. Would you look at that? Look at it.
So what we're going to go over now is just our expenses, and then we got some tips here at the end for you guys. Just some things that you want to make sure and have included in this life before you start off. So number 1 is campgrounds. So for that month, we spent $243 on campgrounds, which was more
than we are now.
I think this last, like I said, this in the last 30 days, $28, and that's just for the 2 nights we've spent here.
We have learned to follow the weather, though. Like, that's how you can boondock your whole life.
Yeah.
You got to follow the weather, because there was times in there, I don't know why we spent so much on campgrounds. Do you?
After we left Big Bend, there was just several different places where we needed full hookups for a few nights.
And it was just expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the pits right there.
Yep. And we was doing a lot of traveling, and so this was our second biggest expense, which was fuel, and we spent $733 that month in fuel. We went from Austin to Houston to the beach in Galveston, back to Houston to San Antonio to Big Bend. I don't know how many miles was in there, but in some of those areas, especially Big Bend, the fuel gets to be like $3.60 a gallon. And that's the other thing is, like, location wise, you could be in the Midwest part of the country and the fuel be under $3 a gallon. You start heading west or in maybe more metropolitan areas and the fuel jumps up in price. And so that can affect your expenses on that.
It can, but you know what? That's part of the experience. So if I was to budget high for anything, I'd budget high for that, because you know what? You got a moving vehicle that you can live in.
Yep.
So you want to be able to move.
You can do groceries in restaurants.
Oh. Groceries.
She handles the groceries.
Okay, listen. Aldi's, I'm not over Aldi's yet. Aldi's makes hundreds of dollars of difference if we can shop at Aldi's in a month. So try to do that if you can. Groceries, we spent $630 in 1 month, which I think is pretty good.
That was very good.
Was that an Aldi's
I think
month?
Yes, that was an Aldi's month, and I think it's probably our best month as far as groceries go.
Yeah, because I would say normally in our old life, even when our kids were younger, I would spend $200 a week, I'd say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so I'd say 100 is average.
Yeah.
For
so
us.
That's a really good average. I bet this month has been higher because I've had to shop at Walmart's and stuff. And then eating out, we spent $279. So. And
that would include our Starbucks. That would include any travel days whenever we would just need to stop for lunch at Subway or something.
Which we do a lot. Subway, we can get 3 footlongs for 18 bucks. That's what we do. But I mean, it just honestly, it depends on where you're at. As far as groceries go, we like to eat healthy and we like to eat fresh. I was telling Michael that the other day, but I was going into Walmart and I said, buddy, I might just come out with hot dogs and mac and cheese because listen, it's hard to pay that price when you've shopped Aldi's before. But you just kind of got to do the best you can, and there's times that you're going to spend more money because there's no other options. Like at Big Bend, there's a grocery store that I'm sure everything is double the price it would be. It's just how it is. In touristy places, things are going to be higher. So just try to prepare for that, which we did. We tried to stock up before we go anywhere.
Yep.
So I'm just going to keep plugging that Aldi's because I'm telling you.
So Aldi's hit us up and, I don't know, make Lane a manager or boss. Give us a discount or something.
A discount, yes. I don't want to work, but yes.
Okay, so propane, and if you follow the weather, this is going to be a very low expense for you, but propane for us was $46 for the month. I think I filled both of our tanks twice throughout the month, and that was all. Dump station, this was like on our travel days whenever places we were at didn't have a dump station. I paid a total of $20 for the month. I think both of those were a Pilot or a Flying J dump station for us to use. Those were averaged on $10
Never thought I'd pay money to dump my family's poop. Never thought it. Never thought it.
Our cell phones, we have Verizon, and we spent $228, but that also includes our phone payments that we have. If we paid those off, which we could, it'd probably be down to around $180. The sun's coming in bright and hot now, so our face is glowing.
The sunrise is over and the day has begun.
But yeah, $228 is what our cell phone payments are, and that's unlimited. And honestly, we have a lot of people ask us what we do for cell phones and how I upload my videos. I just use our Verizon hotspot, and that's all I've been using. And sometimes we find a place that has Wi-Fi, like Starbucks or a Panera Bread or something, and we use those. But most times it's just our Verizon plans. We don't have any booster.
We look ahead where we're going to make sure there's good reviews for cell phone service. And
Campendium's great for that. Campendium always has the reviews, or the cell phone coverage is down at the bottom when you scroll, and so we're always checking that.
That's nice.
Yep. You want to do health insurance?
Yeah, $280 for health insurance.
And what do we have?
Christian Healthcare. Go to christianhealthcare.org.
Yeah, I'll leave the link down below. We've had that way before.
It's amazing. We love them. We love every single thing about it. We've had all 4 children and experienced other things with that company, and they have always pulled through. We love them. Yep. It is so affordable and amazing customer service. And yeah, $280 for health insurance. Do we all have health insurance? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whoa, that's awesome.
For the month. Yep.
Yep. So look them up. And use us as a referral if you do that.
Yeah, if you do use us as a referral, I'll put our a code down below, but it gives us a free month when somebody uses that.
I'll hug your neck.
It's just a referral program they have. It just helps them get more people to join their program, and it helps us when we refer them. Yep. So insurance is next. So for our RV, we have Progressive, and that's $61 a month. For our pickup truck, I just have a mutual company back home in our state. It's $92 a month for full coverage, and that's full coverage on the RV too. And then we have life insurance for Lane and I both. That's $27 a month. So $180 total is what we spend a month in just our total insurance. And last is your favorite.
Laundry! Actually, I don't mind it as much on the road as I did in my red house, to tell you the truth. it doesn't pile up as much. We wear the same clothes.
We have less clothes.
And we have less clothes, yeah. Only $20 last month, which is probably about average. We might spend a little more.
Yeah, or maybe on the low side. Seems like this month maybe we spent 40.
Yeah, so it just depends on which laundromat you go to, which to me, I would rather go to a nice one and put some extra quarters in the slots and keep all my clothes looking nice. But probably it was like that because we didn't get to a laundromat except for one time last month.
Yeah, it's true.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because we were just busy. But anyways, I love going to nice laundromats, getting it all done in one whack, and it's probably $20 for one visit. I don't do laundry, you know, every other day. I don't keep up with it because it's a whole trip, you know. So we fill up our hamper, we go into town. Often I'll bring all of our bedding and stuff like that as well and get her done.
Okay, so now we're just going to talk about some tips that we have. I just have 3 of them, but I think they're important tips for starting out this RV life, just to make it flow easier and a little less stressful.
You're welcome.
Yes. Okay, so tip number 1, have an emergency fund.
Yes.
Cheers. Yeah. Because here's the thing. Oh, so what I also want to mention, oh, wait a minute. Let me back up. Our total for the month, I forgot to say that. Our total for the month was $2,933. And that's kind of been really close to our average, is about $3,000 a month. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Some of the things I did not include in here for us is our tithes, because that varies based on our income. Also our business expenses, because we're not going to include that in just our own personal RV living expense. And then also what I did not include that month, because we didn't have any, was any repairs. That's going to be a big factor in this RV living. Is your repairs. If you're going to have any, what you're going to have fixed.
Well, you'll have to have repairs.
You'll
so
have
just
to have
plan
repairs.
For it.
That's why tip number 1 is have an emergency fund, because you're going to have expenses for repairs, and if you don't have an emergency fund set in place, when those repairs come about, you're going to be wondering.
Bad deal pickle.
Yeah, you're going to be wondering where you're going to get that from. Let's say, you know, you start off with $10,000 emergency fund. I think that's a great emergency fund to start off with. If you have $5,000, I think that's fine too. But just know that with RVs or pickups, that one thing can happen, and it could be $2,000 to $3,000 that you have to have fixed or repaired. When it comes to mechanical or axles or anything, it can just get expensive when repairing these things. Have an emergency fund in place, I think, is a priority number 1 before you begin this life.
Yep.
Number 2?
Number 2 is create a budget.
Which we suck at. Here's the thing, we do track our expenses, or at least I track our expenses. As you can tell, Lane's the very carefree, flow with it. Michael,
baby, just roll with it.
And I'm kind of like,
I can sing great, especially in the morning. Or my jammies.
But creating a budget is important. If you're an analytical person like me, you kind of want to know what you're spending each month, and I think it helps to know, because
it does. Well, and like creating a budget, or just creating an idea of budget. A plan.
I think a plan's
important.
Word
plan better. Yes.
Instead of creating a budget, if you want to create a budget, fine. If you're like Lane, create a plan.
And the plan is to, like, in my head, I'll say to myself, okay, we need to spend around no more than $3,000 every month, because that usually fits within our budget. And if we want to do something extra, then we discuss, can we do this with our budget?
Right.
That's how Lane does it. So that way, because I'm not like a big spender or anything like that, but I don't really like people telling me what to do, and I don't really like all those chains around me, you know, just like what maybe I want to spend $800 on groceries and $20 on eating out. So throw that budget away. You know what I mean? Like, it'll all come out in the end. But.
Well, and here's my last tip, and I think that goes great with this, is be flexible.
Yeah.
Be very flexible, because if you stick to just 1 second. Chasen's Daniel Tiger came off. Hi, buddy. You got some wild hair. We'll be back. We've got a guest now. A surprise guest visitor.
Say hi. Good morning.
As we were saying, be flexible.
Oh, yeah.
obviously we have to be flexible in making our videos with children. It's just part of life. But being flexible in RV living is so important, because if you have a strict way of it's going to work out this way,
you're going to have a lot of bad days if you're not ready for things to change, because they change almost every single day.
Yeah, they do.
Which is cool. I love that. But if you aren't like that, then you need to get it in your head, because I promise you can't plan it all out and it go as planned. So just enjoy it.
And be flexible with your budget. It's going to change. You may have it set for one way 1 month, and then the next month be like, you know what, this didn't work, let's try this.
Yep.
And same thing with just traveling. You know, you may think we want to try it this way, and then all of a sudden your plans change. And like for us, as you guys know, in the beginning of season 2 we said we was going to be heading west. Well, now we're not. We haven't, I guess, maybe made that public until now, but we was going to be going into California. We're almost done, buddy. We was going to be going into California and going up the west coast, and now we're like, well, we're not, and we're going to Denver for Easter, and then we're going to be going to Minnesota by May. And it's just...
But we'll still go to California sometime. We're going to do all that.
But being flexible and just rolling with it in this life, especially if you're traveling, is just a must.
It is.
So that's our last and final tip, to just make sure that this life just flows smoothly, is just be flexible. Don't stress, don't sweat the small stuff.
One day at a time.
And I think being a communicating couple and talking about this stuff and figuring this out together, and not, if I told Lane that this is the way it's going to be or whatnot, it wouldn't work. Obviously, she's pretty bullheaded. But communicating with your spouse or significant other is so important in this life, to just make sure that everything goes through smoothly.
Which we do a lot. Every single night we're like, all right, what are we feeling? Where are we going?
What are we doing?
Yep, every night.
Yep. So, all right, so he's over it. He's ready to go back inside. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give us a big thumbs up. Leave us a comment down below. Tell us some tips or some tricks for creating your RV budget or your expenses. Let us know what you guys thought. We just really love communicating with you guys and hanging out with y'all. I'm glad you get to see where we're at for real. Yeah. This is for real today. Yep, this is real time. You guys have a blessed... we just bonded. Yeah. Well, you guys have a blessed Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we will see you guys in the next video, which I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet, but it's going to be epic. Oh, yes. Thanks, guys. Bye. Bye. Good job, buddy.